United States of America right now, as we record this pod, and on the day that this pod is released, which would be Columbus Day or also Indigenous Peoples Day, uh, on the day that this pod drops, America still will not have a Speaker of the House. So by this time last week, the Dems had gone ahead, had bailed out McCarthy and the Republicans when it came to making sure that we had a spending uh, approval, to approve whatever appropriations they need to appropriate. But then they got called back, and I know this because I was with someone who was getting called back. And on Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday, they voted to remove the Speaker of the House. Your reaction?
Boy, boy. This, in many ways, this was, I think, I gauge these moments off just how much fun we're having in Twitter. And the Mar-a-Lago raid was a really, really fun day. When he was impeached, I think the second time wasn't as fun because what it was for, right? We were still kind of reeling over January 6th and stuff like that. When Joe Biden was inaugurated, it was a great day. When McCarthy failed to get the speakership those 17 times, however time it took, that was a funny day as well. This was up there, John. And the reason it was up there is I was thinking of so many different angles, right? One, we kind of predicted this would happen, right? We thought that he wouldn't last a year, and he didn't, right? Two, just how it went down, right? Matt Gaetz, who Republicans then flipped on, right? They started talking about all this past history and all the underage girls and all that stuff. They knew about it the whole time, and we were complaining about it, but they didn't say nothing, right? Just for it to come from the inside, John, that was super important to me. And to know that McCarthy's last blow amongst Democrats was Democrats saving his butt and then him going on Meet the Press or whatever that Sunday show was, and to say, oh, it was all Democrats' fault, just to know that came up to it was a fascinating day.
It was Face the Nation.
Face the Nation. Gotcha. So the one thing I hang my hat on is when Hakeem Jeffries made it clear that they weren't going to help him. Do you remember this? I messaged you. I said, "What's our angle here? What's the reason here?" And because people thought McCarthy, although is right-wing extremism, he's better than Matt Gaetz, better than Jim Jordan as far as Democrats are concerned, right? So I thought, what's our angle here? But at the end of the day, John, this is what I came down to. Kevin McCarthy got what he deserved. He tried to appease every single person, and when you try to appease every single person, you end up alienating every single person. He pissed off Democrats. He pissed off moderate Republicans. He pissed off right-wing Republicans. When McCarthy went down to Mar-a-Lago days after January 6th or days after the inauguration, whenever it was, when he went down there and kissed the ring after January 6th, he had this coming to him. So as far as I'm concerned, he's the worst speaker in history, coming off the greatest speaker of history, Nancy Pelosi, right? And it confirmed that to me when he did what he did regarding Pelosi and Hoyer. When he did that, that proved to me that he got what he deserved. So I don't feel bad for him. People think he died or lost his job. He's still a congressperson, right? He just lost the top seat, right? So he, at the end of the day, he got what was coming to him, and it was fun to see.
Yeah, well, let's go with a few things. So McCarthy got pulled, and let's go with the chronology. The Dems, and it's funny because did you see that one? And I get a little nervous when people do this, but hopefully they did it with the approval of the boss. But there was somebody's staffer, I think I sent you the link, the thread, posted a thread about how, we, and it was actually I think the deputy chief of staff for one of the members of Congress, Democratic members, but Kevin created this problem himself. And I think when we look at the people on the right and the people in the press who are saying, we wish, why did the Democrats bail him out? Well, first and foremost, I think one of the things that people have to realize is that Kevin McCarthy is untrustworthy. When the debt ceiling was an issue, he cut a deal with Biden and the Democrats. And as part of the deal, what happened and what went down last week was an example of him reneging on that deal. That's the first problem. Secondly, and I think it was Mike Quigley who pointed this out, when they talk about, well, what do what's worse, is who could replace him. And someone pointed out that, wait a minute, we're talking about a guy who we can't trust. We're talking about a guy who said that he would not start an impeachment inquiry without a vote, and we're having an impeachment inquiry without a vote. We're talking about a guy that censured Adam Schiff, and he kicked Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, and Ilhan Omar off a committee. And I think and then on top of it, he goes on Face the Nation after the Democrats saved his ass and just this is the Democrats and makes it seem like the Democrats were the ones who were, angling. And then, as you said, he goes ahead and as both Pelosi and Hoyer kicked out of their auxiliary offices in the Capitol. I know there's a lot of uncertainty about who will ultimately replace, if it's going to be Scalise or Jordan or someone else. But this is, I think McCarthy got what was coming to him, and he didn't learn his lesson. He still hasn't learned his lesson. He's a horrible person. I mean, granted, most of the Republicans in Congress are horrible people, but he's a horrible person.